I see a lot of people with a lot of good intentions for making the world a better place. That they want to make spaces more inclusive, or they want to save the environment, or they want to stand up for social injustice. And while these are important and admirable skills, these people are often missing something very, very critical. That if you want to truly make an impact in the world that's positive and has ripples that continue outward in an uplifting direction, then it really starts with yourself. Because you can only offer that which you have. And so it's probably a good idea to work on cultivating some true wealth within. If we haven't met before, I'm Kay. I am a spiritual life coach and author of the book Journey to the Ecstatic Self. Now, a lot of times I will meet and work with people who have really good intentions for improving the state of humanity, improving the animal kingdom, the natural world, and that makes me really, really pleased. I think it's so important that each of us do our duty to leave the world a little bit better than we found it. Whether that's by cleaning up some trash, or planting a garden, or helping to raise a child, or rescuing an animal, or even bigger, more audacious projects. But while these intentions are good, if a person is exclusively focused on improving the lives of others, but not doing work to improve themselves, then those efforts are often going to end up ringing as hollow, or they're not going to get the results that the person would hope. So take this for example. How many of you have ever gotten a gift that you did not want? Didn't really care to receive it, but that person who got it for you spent money, presumably spent a great deal of time thinking about it, and for you it was kind of like, meh. It's going on a shelf, it's getting returned, it's getting regifted, it's getting thrown out. It has zero value to you. How often do we do the same for others, where we give a lot of our energy, our resources, our time to give them something that they don't necessarily want? And a big reason for that is what we have to offer isn't that great to begin with. Now, I grew up in a Christian, a Methodist household, and I would watch people in my childhood church going on mission trips to convert or proselytize to other individuals. And that always kind of rubbed me the wrong way because, first, can't you perhaps approach people with the dignity and respect, assuming that perhaps they have cherished beliefs, that they have their own spiritual system? Why do you have to go in there with this idea that yours is best, yours is right? They need to convert to your understanding. But the second thing is I knew these people who were going out to evangelize, and they didn't necessarily have a lot of spiritual depth to them. They weren't the paragons of charisma and spirituality and depth of experience that would make me say, yes, you have something of value to share. Go and communicate it to your brothers and sisters. For many people, they offer what they do not have. How many of us have seen someone we love try to make somebody else feel okay when they feel miserable themselves? How many of us have seen someone try to improve the living conditions of someone else when their own life is in total disarray? If you truly want to make a difference in the world and for the lives of someone else, you have to have something of value to offer. You've got to have a depth of spirit, a well of resources to give to someone. If you've got no money in the bank, but you say, hey, I'll take care of you, I'll give you $5, and you don't have it, I feel like that's how a lot of people operate. B, you gotta be giving something that someone else actually wants. And too often we don't actually listen, we don't actually have conversation with someone to see, is this what they're asking for? Because a beautiful gift at the wrong time, or not the gift they're looking for, can often be not so pleasant to receive. And C, are we able to give it in a way that they're able to receive? Because you might have great information, but if you can't communicate it well, if you can't deliver it in a modality that they can accept, then it's not going to mean very much. Now, that may be the focus of another video. Today, I want to talk about this idea of having a full tank of resources. Have you actually done the work to be full of juice, of energy, of benevolence, so that when you want to help somebody else, you're giving from your fullness rather than your emptiness? My frustration so often with these Christian proselytizers is I don't sense that they have a lot of depth of spirit. They aren't coming from a place of fullness and love and joy and contentment and spiritual abundance. It's often coming from fear or frustration or scarcity, and that doesn't feel good. Why do you feel called to do that? Why don't you instead take a break, meditate, go on vacation, do journaling, do some soulful activities so that you feel full of God consciousness, so that you feel full of light and bliss and positive energy. And then that has value. That is something you can offer to someone else. There's nothing wrong with going out and doing stuff for the world, and it's a beautiful thing to do. But we really have to start with taking care of ourselves. Have you put in the time, have you put in the energy to build up the resources to have something of value to offer? Because the world doesn't need more saviors. The world doesn't need more people going out to create change when they're disquieted within. And when you're coming from an impure place or conflicted place or an empty place, it's hard to make positive ripples. But when you can walk into a room and be full of love, compassion, grace, acceptance, joy, and be genuinely marinating in those feelings, then the effects of what you do are going to be much more positive. The ripples are going to be much more profound and have better consequences than when it comes from emptiness, ego, control, or fear. So as we start off this new year, and you are probably resolute to make positive change in some way, make sure that change starts with yourself. And if it's going to be outwardly focused, that it's coming from a place of fullness and love. And those are my thoughts for you today.